hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Puck It with Joe. Hey, welcome in to Puck It with Joe here on YouTube. I'm Jo Madden. It is Friday, November 21st. We've got 4 games out there on the ice day, and I'm super excited for these 4 games to kick off. I do think we have a barking dog out there on the ice. We got a couple of totals that you definitely want to be looking at, some players to get those anytime goals. It should be a great night. So let's jump into everything that I'm liking in this matchup, and I want to know below or in the live chat what you guys are liking out there. So we're going to kick it off with the Minnesota Wild taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, looking at this matchup, we do have a total of 5.5 with the juice to the over at minus 134. We're seeing the Penguins rolling in as the favorite, coming in at minus 120, plus 100 on the Minnesota Wild. Can the Wild pull off the win here? This is going to be really interesting to see how the Penguins adjust. So they've only played 2 games in the last 11 days. Remember, they were overseas in Sweden playing these games. So first night of a back-to-back, they're going to be exhausted tomorrow versus the Seattle Kraken. So it might be a look-ahead spot to back Seattle, depending on how they come out in this. But the power play has been so elite for the Pittsburgh Penguins that they have every opportunity of capitalizing here against a weak kill of the Minnesota Wild, 72.9%. Now, the best power play is the Penguins, but the 5th best power play in the league is the Minnesota Wild. And we know the inconsistency scoring on 5-on-5, but this team really has been picking up as of late. They've won their last 3. They got the shootout win on Wednesday versus the Carolina Hurricanes at home. That was 4-3. And we look at their last 10 games, they're 7-2-1. This is putting them in a second wild card spot in the West. So the Wild are turning a corner right now, and the Penguins have had so much rest after playing the Predators overseas. I'm just not sure if that rest will convert to them coming out strong, or if we're going to see them rusty, especially in that first period. I do think if the Minnesota Wild go up in the first period, I will be coming back in on the Pittsburgh Penguins in this game. The Penguins beat the Wild 4-1, and they were able to get an empty netter in their last meeting last month. So it was more like a 3-1 style game, lower scoring game, but that empty netter put us at 5 goals. So the total of 5.5 looks like pretty dead on in this one as well. So lots to look at here. I do think this is probably one the Penguins win. Again, they're coming in at that minus 120 mark as the juice starts to tick up. It was minus 115 earlier in the day. I could see this one going to OT. 2-2 going into overtime. The overtime bet coming in at plus 320. Now, could we see it 3-3 pushing us over that total? Yeah, we absolutely could. It's just my problem here is I just don't know how the Penguins will come out to start this game. I could see 2 goals out of the Wild and then the Penguins winning this one in OT 3-2. So as they catch back up, we know the Wild love to get a lead and hold on to it. If the Penguins come out strong out of the gate, though, we're going to see this one go over that total. So caution with the total. I like the overtime bet plus 320. You've also seen that yo-yo effect from the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have lost their last 4 off a win, so they did get the win versus the Predators on Sunday in their last matchup, 4-0. So it's crazy to think that they've traveled back home. They just haven't played any games. Kind of a weird spot for them here. So like I said, 2 games in 11 days. You could see it go either way of that total. I do think the power play points is where you want to look at. I would look at Mantha here. He scored a goal in each of the Penguins' last 5 home games. He's coming in at plus 250. Rust. I would look at Rust for the power play point. He's on the top line in the top power play. He hasn't been able to get points in the last 3 games, 2 of those games overseas. But I do think Rust will be able to open up in this game on the power play. If you're looking at the other side, Matt Boldy, no denying what he can do for the Wild. He's plus 170 for the anytime goal. So I'm seeing you guys jump back in here, and we've got great comments of some losers in the chat, and they can just leave. So we're just banning people. I'm not getting into anyone's kitchen to make them a sandwich. That is for sure. But great to see the rest of you here. So happy Friday. Yeah, I'm rocking the sweatshirt today. It is a lazy Friday here as I get everything done. So you got to look at Niederreiter today to score that goal versus his former team. He's been so solid at scoring goals versus his former teams. So definitely want to look at Niederreiter. We're going to look at him for sure. Bargain bets. You want bargain bets today. Okay, we'll get into that. Not sure what you exactly mean by bargain bets. You took the draw on the Wild and the Penguins. Plus 320. Yeah, it's a great one. I'm looking for this one to be that tight as well. Kev, good to see you here. Let's make some freaking money. I'm glad you made some money with me. Let's continue to make some money out there. So, Boldy, parlay piece. Yeah, I like Matt Boldy for the parlay piece as well. Yeah, it's just blocked. It's fun to block people, you guys. I actually really like doing it now. I didn't before. So those people get blocked and removed. They can go home and cry to their mothers, probably waiting for their mom to bring them down the sandwich. A little bit hungry out there. Let's look at the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Chicago with Connor Bedard. We know they're off that loss to the Seattle Kraken in their last game. That was just last night, you guys. So they will come in here and they're taking on a Buffalo Sabres team that does have the youth as well. I'm looking at the big playmakers for both of these teams to really make an impact. We got Tage Thompson for the Buffalo Sabres and Connor Bedard for the Chicago Blackhawks. And I think that is where you're going to find success. I'm really liking the player props today. Now, the Chicago Blackhawks are plus 152 underdog, which is such a great price. I'm so tempted to look at Chicago here. We'll see how long they can play in this game where they're not going to get those tired legs, because the speed of this game is going to be intense. And I think we see both of these teams open up with the over 1.5 and both teams to score. So I'm going to go there in the first period and kind of stay off the full game. I can't lay the Buffalo Sabres at minus 164 on the money line, but I also can't lay 1.5 at plus 134 on that puck line. The total 6.5, it's interesting to say, is juiced to the over. I expect this to go over that total. We got Sonnenblom in between the pipes here for Chicago. He's got a 2.52 goals against average and a 912 save percentage. And Lankican can come in here for the Buffalo Sabres. Now, looking at Lankican, he's got a 3.01 goals against average at 883 save percentage. They're coming off the loss to Calgary 6-2 on Wednesday. They allowed the Calgary Flames to score 6 goals on them. Imagine what Chicago can do that just beat Calgary, 5-2 in their last game out when Connor Bedard did get the hat trick. So I'm expecting the goals to come on both sides of the puck here. We're looking at a Sabres team that is sitting last in the Eastern Conference, 7-9-4 record. But could they show up as a favorite here? They're a big favorite. Home record is way better than road. You look at the Sabres, they are 6-4-2 at home this season, but only 1-5-2 out there on the road. I don't know, you guys. For me, this is just first period over 1.5. Both teams to score in the first period. I love the look of both of these teams coming out nice and solid to start this game. And then we can live bet it. You know, if we see this be a 2-1 style game for the Buffalo Sabres in the first period, I'm going to come back in as Chicago, because that's going to give us like plus 250 on the Chicago Blackhawks. And you know I'm hungry for that plus money. I'll look at Connor Bedard for the anytime goal. 2+ points for Connor Bedard and the anytime goal definitely is going to make my card tonight. 29 points on the season, 13 goals. And then on the other side for the Sabres, it's got to be Tage Thompson. You're looking at Tage Thompson coming in with 10 goals, 18 points on the season. Sorry, there's a little fly flying around from my plants here, driving me crazy. He scored 4 straight games. So I'm looking at Tage to continue to come out nice and strong in this game and get things done. So give me Tage for 2+ points. Give me Connor Bedard for 2+ points. And give me both of them for the anytime goal. I think they're going to show up big in this one. Yeah. They're just blocking across across the way. Nice block. Rasmus Dahlin, Buffalo for the assist at minus 130. Vegas Vixen is always dropping these great plays. You guys always look for her in this live chat and what Vegas Vixen, I'm assuming you're her. I'm sorry if I assumed wrong, but look for Vegas Vixen in here. I always drop in some great plays. And you guys, I love when you're dropping these plays in the live chat. So Tyler Bertuzzi for the power play point. Gotta love Bertuzzi for a power play point, plus 290. And yeah, I'm seeing all of these. Josh Morrissey of Winnipeg for the assist. We're also looking at Ehlers of Carolina versus his former team for the point, minus 140. Great plays in here. So you guys always look for them. Bertuzzi is a great value for him. Okay. Oh, Bertuzzi from Chicago. Not, I was thinking Toffoli. I don't know why Toffoli hit my head. Bertuzzi from Chicago here. So let's get moving here. 2 legs yesterday for Bertuzzi. Nice. Nicely done. You guys are making some money out there. Bedard for 3+ points, laddered up to plus 600. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Let's go. Bertuzzi at plus 260. Okay, you guys are just dropping them. You're a her. Okay, Vegas Vincent, I'm so glad I didn't get that wrong. So great to see you here. You guys always check out all of the plays dropped in the live chat. You guys are making money left, right, and center, and I absolutely freaking love it. Let's move on to the next game. The Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Winnipeg Jets. Now, Carolina coming off a shootout loss versus the Minnesota Wild. Frederik Andersen expected between the pipes. Eric Crombry here for the Winnipeg Jets. Now, the Winnipeg Jets, great job in their last game versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. They returned home from that long road trip, but that road trip was weird. They lost their first 4, won their last 2, returning home. So it was a disappointing road trip. Got the win versus Columbus. Are they going to start to show those tired legs from being out there on the road in this game today with Crombry between the pipes, or can they pull off another win? Well, you guys threw it out there. Ehlers returning back here to Winnipeg. This is his first time coming back to Winnipeg after signing with the Carolina Hurricanes in the offseason. Ehlers for the point. I agree with you guys. Minus 140, maybe a parlay piece, right? I look at Ehlers to light the lamp. I think he lights the lamp here on Eric Crombry. I think he gets his way. But I think at the end of the day, the Jets still win this. I'm looking for the Jets to win this 3-2. This game to stay under. You guys also threw out Niederreiter here for that anytime goal. It's plus 450. He has been so solid versus his former teams. He played for the Carolina Hurricanes in 2018 to 2022. I believe he played for the Preds in between coming here to the Winnipeg Jets, but he's always converting versus his former teams. He scored a goal in each of his last 3 appearances versus one of his former teams. So plus 450, definitely worth a shot. Josh Morrissey on the power play, I think, is another solid way to go. Now, we know Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor really leading here, the Winnipeg Jets, 4 points, 4 goals. But you look at Morrissey on the power play, and I think you're going to make some money. The power play converting at 25%. The Carolina Hurricanes kill. It's just below 80% here, but I do think Winnipeg will really step up in this game. Winnipeg has the Wild on Sunday. Then they got to hit the road again on Wednesday for 5 more games. This team is going to be exhausted when they get back from that next road trip. We're looking at the Carolina Hurricanes game 3 of 4 out there on the road. They've got the Sabres on Sunday. So they've struggled in the first period versus Central. We know the Winnipeg Jets are a team that we love to back in the first period on the puck line, laying a half goal. If you want to do first period Winnipeg and then Winnipeg to win this one in OT, I think it goes to OT. You guys, this is a 3-2 style game. It's a Friday. I think we got another overtime game. So I'm going to take this one to go to overtime. I'm also going to look at the first game of the night, the Minnesota Wild and the Pittsburgh Penguins, to go to overtime. Could we see all of these games? Chicago and the Sabres, with Chicago, I think they're the better team than the Sabres. If we see them get tired, could we see this one go to overtime as well? Maybe we've got an overtime night on our hands, you guys, as we look at the next game, the Boston Bruins versus the LA Kings. Now, these lines are kind of surprising. I know Boston's dealing with so many injuries, but a plus 168 dog here coming into LA to take on the Kings. The Kings don't deserve to be minus 205 on the money line. Total 5.5 in this one, minus 105 to the under, minus 115 to the over. We've got Swayman versus Darcy Kemper. So looking at Darcy Kemper between the pipes, solid numbers. He's got a 904 save percentage, a 2.42 goals against average. Swayman's got a 2.99 goals against average and 902 save percentage. If I'm comparing which goaltender I trust more, is definitely Darcy Kemper. But you look at the Boston Bruins out there, and this team, they've lost their last two. They were able to battle back versus the Anaheim Ducks before losing that one 4-3. The LA Kings have played really weird games. They've lost their last two. They played in San Jose last night, played the Sharks. They lost that one in a shootout 4-3. They're playing to the speed the other team wants to play at. We've seen them in both games versus the Sharks take those losses this season because they've got trapped into a fast-paced game. This is a team that normally can slow down their opponents and make them play at a slower pace. Now, the one good thing here, I do think Boston prefers to play a defensive game, even though we're seeing this team averaging over 3 goals per game. Their power play is converting fourth best in the league at 27.4% to weak power play here for the LA Kings, but their kill right around that 80%. The Bruins have a solid kill as well. Long story short, I just don't think the Bruins deserve to be this big of an underdog. First game home off 6 games out there on the road for the LA Kings. They went 4-2 on that road trip. This is a perfect letdown spot for this Kings team. But Boston's dealing with so many injuries. It's a hard one here. They've also lost the last 9 versus the Pacific. You've got the LA Kings without Drew Doughty, though. You got Kempe and Fiala really solid out there. I believe Kempe has 20 points while Fiala rolling in with just under 10 goals, 8 or 9 goals for Fiala. So both of those players really stepping up for the Kings. I think this is a lower scoring game, you guys. I do think we stay under the 5.5 between these two teams. But again, this could be ruined by overtime. I think this is a 3-2 win. Hopefully no one ties it up and pushes it 3-3 and pushes it to OT. Man, what do you guys think the chances of all 4 of these games going to OT tonight? I think it has every possibility. Yeah, Connor Hellebuck will be out for a while. OT, I'm in. Yeah, I got to roll with OT, but you guys, there's so much going on today. Let's go over these games again. If you haven't checked out everything I've got going on Betting Pros, Picks and Parlays, and Wager Talk, head on over to those sites to check it out. There's so much content going up on the daily. All of my college football, NFL plays, there's so many different things on all of the sites. You can check out NBA, college football, NFL, all on Betting Pros, and then Picks and Parlays, the same. Wager Talk, you can check me out on those last call shows Monday and Thursdays as well as End Zone on Sundays with the guys. So make sure you head on over and check those out. But let's get into the recap time here, you guys. And then I got to get back to doing a couple things. It is a busy rush day for me. So recap time, we are coming in with we're going to start with the Minnesota Wild versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. I do think the Penguins can get the win, but I think it's tight. I'm going to look at this one to go to OT at plus 320. I'm going to look at player props. I love the player props in this one. Give me Mantha for the anytime goal coming in at plus 250 for the Penguins. Give me Rust here for a power play point as well. Matt Boldy on the other side for the Minnesota Wild to be able to net a goal. He's coming in at plus 170. Then the Chicago Blackhawks and the Buffalo Sabres. You guys, I'm going to take every single game to go to overtime. I really do think 3 of the 4 hit for OT tonight. If we only hit one of them, I'll be super disappointed. I'll be screaming at my TV. If we go 0-4 for overtime, man, I'm going to be severely disappointed. But I can see all of these games being tight tonight. It is Friday. Freaky stuff happens on a Friday. You guys know that. But I will look at the first period, over 1.5 goals in both teams to score in the first period. Both teams to score in the first period, getting you that great plus money. You guys threw out the ladder. I like Connor Bedard for 2+ points. You threw out 3. Let's frickin' go 3. I love you guys in the live chat. 3+ points for Connor Bedard. The anytime goal, 2+ points as well. Ladder that stuff up. The Tage Thompson anytime goal, 2+ points for Tage Thompson on the other side for the Buffalo Sabres. The Carolina Hurricanes and the Winnipeg Jets, another game I do think could be staying under the total. I like the first period under 1.5, actually. Give me the first period under 1.5 goals. I think the lockdown comes. I know it's not Connor Hellebuck. It's a combi between the pipes for Winnipeg, but I do have faith in him. I think in the first period, we start off slow. You could get a little dangerous as we are in the second and third. Carolina definitely doesn't want to take another loss here after losing their last game to the Minnesota Wild. I'd look at Ehlers in his return here, emotional return to Winnipeg to net us a goal. great plus money with Ellers for the anytime goal. And then on the other side, you got to look at Niederreiter versus his former team as well. His goal plus 450. Maybe just a point might be a little safer with Niederreiter, but I'd look at Josh Morrissey for the power play point. Last but not least, the Boston Bruins and the LA Kings. So much plus money for Boston that I am so tempted to take it. I think this is a back and forth battle that stays under the 5.5. Again, I think this one can go to overtime. So the two late games, I like lower scoring games. The two first games, I like things to really open up between both of them. The fear of overtime in all of these games can ruin a total to the under. So just to note that. But I think it should be a great night out there on the ice. If LA goes up first, I'll come back in on Boston with great plus money. Same with the Buffalo Sabres. If they go up first, I'm going to come back in on Chicago again at that great plus price. But it should be a solid day on the ice. Let me know what you guys are liking. I want to hear it. You guys are taking Bertuzzi to light the lamp. I love it. Vegas Vixen, thanks for dropping all those plays that you are liking. The Chicago Blackhawks first period. Yeah, Chicago in the first period is a solid way to go. I do think Buffalo will answer back, though. I have a lot of faith in both of those teams to come out hot out of the gate. And Chicago's team total over. Yeah, Chicago's team total, if they go down, it's a great strategy. We know Connor Bedard's going to be doing what he can out there to be able to get the win. There's great playmakers on all of these teams tonight, you guys. Plenty of opportunities to make some money. But I appreciate you guys for joining me. Stay tuned for my Pocket Cup of Joes tomorrow. I'm going to be recording some of them tonight as soon as I'm getting all the lines out, and I will release them. So stay tuned here on YouTube so you can get those lines as soon as I'm dropping them. But you guys, all the best in all of your bets. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me here. Ooh, the plus 150. Okay. You're off coming in for the point at plus 150. Ben, I like it. I like where you're going, Ben, with that. Nice to see you here today. Top line and second power play. Yeah, I'm really glad to see you here, Ben. I haven't seen you for a while around here on Pocket with Joe. But you guys, have a great day. Let's make some freaking money out here on the ice. I will see you for my Puck Joes over the weekend. There's just so much going on, so many obligations, but I will get those bets out, what I'm betting out there on the ice. But you guys, until next time, stay hot. Let's make some freaking money. Have a good weekend. Be safe, be good, and let's win some freaking